And this was the scene Thursday night. The Toronto Blue Jays, Canada's baseball team, celebrated clinching the playoffs, which is something they haven't done in a few years. Joining me right now is GM Ross Atkins from the Toronto Blue Jays. Good morning, Ross.
Hey, Devo.
Congratulations. No problem. Thanks for joining us. You're in St. Pete's right now, right in Florida.
Correct.
And the guys are getting ready. You got to take on Tampa Bay, round one, best of three series, which kicks off tomorrow night. Congratulations. This is something nice to see.
Yeah, it's been great. We're fired up for the guys. It's definitely been an interesting year. We have, nothing I've ever experienced before, that's for sure. And I'm so happy for our guys. They, to see the energy and the exuberance on their faces that evening was very fulfilling.
Yeah, and take us through this year. Obviously, a shortened season, 60 games. There's going to be a lot of talk about this. Will there be an asterisk on this season, do you think?
I mean, listen, like we're focused on each day, each pitch, each game. Mm-hmm. I think it's hard not to think that this year will be considered a different one. That's for sure. But the challenges have been unique, to say the least. But the challenges have been for every team as well. So, I think a big part of this year, going into the year, we knew that staying healthy and keeping our guys safe and the communities around us safe was going to be a very important part of us having success. And that added challenge was something our players embraced, the industry embraced, and we're fired up. We're fired up to be where we are today.
Yeah, and Canada's fired up as well. I spoke with Bo last week, Bo Bichette, of course, and he was talking about some of those challenges as well and having to be mentally strong this season. What have you seen with the players as they head into this next chapter of this season?
Yeah, Devo, that's it. I mean, they if they didn't love baseball, we would know. That's for sure. Because it's been around the clock. We're in a hotel room or we're at the stadium. The only food we're eating is in a box, and that's been for well over 2 months now. And so these guys are resilient. They've really embraced the challenge. They love one another. There's an incredible warmth to this team. Just how much they care about one another and how much they are focused on the team. That bodes very well for tomorrow night and this series, and it bodes very well for our future.
That's it. And speaking of the future, these are players that have come up through the system. You guys had faith in them, you believed in them, and the system has kind of watched them grow and get to the point that they're at now. Is this right that there's nobody that's been in the league for at least 10 years that's on this roster?
Yeah, we certainly have a young team.
Yeah.
That's for sure. These guys, we have a couple of 21-year-olds and a 22-year-old, and there's a lot of young position player talent. We have a lot of young pitching that's contributed for the first time this year. So to be one of the younger, if not the youngest teams in baseball, and being in the playoffs now, having had a successful year with a lot of very, very good individual performances and lots of opportunity to get better, that's where you want to be as a sports organization. And having the ability to grow, and obviously there's room for growth, but having that ability with a great core to start is a good place to be.
Yeah, and you definitely made some right moves, of course, towards the trade deadline, getting some great players, some pitching added to the roster. And we talk about that development, and something that you addressed late last week as well is within the organization, some changes had to be made because of the pandemic. If you don't mind speaking on that a little bit and kind of what's that look like for the future for the team?
Yeah, so there's a couple things going on. There's one obvious one that the whole world is dealing with, and then we've had the industry is restructuring the minor leagues. So we had to factor that into how we were going to operate as from a business standpoint, from a baseball standpoint, and had to make some difficult decisions. We've worked very hard to be as efficient as possible. We've worked very hard to communicate clearly with our leadership about what our plans are for this organization, and we continue to focus on how we can get incrementally better every day. And each juncture that we meet where we have an opportunity to add to this young core and complement them, we will certainly be looking to do that.
It's been quite the ride to this point right now. We're excited going forward, especially for tomorrow night. Ross, what do you got to say to the fans across Canada and what they should watch for and how far this team can go starting tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing I enjoy the most about our team is what I mentioned, is just how much they pull for one another, the smiles on their faces, the exuberance that they have for the game and for one another. That's unique. It's not every day, and they have a lot of fun with it. They obviously are very competitive and very intense when it comes to winning, but they find a way to do it with a smile on their face. So it's a fun team to be a part of.
It's a fun team to watch. We're all rooting for the Jays, of course, starting tomorrow in Tampa. They'll take them on for a 3-game series as you head into the playoffs, and we're hoping to see this team go all the way, and parades. We'll start thinking about that after this first series is done. Let's do it one day at a time. Ross, I want to ask you this as we get ready to take calls and emails from Canada. We're asking about people being more dependent on their smartphone for the last little while. Is there anything you're willing to give up for 30 days in order to hang on to that smartphone? A dog, a spouse? I mean, you've been out on the road for a long time.
Yeah, there's a lot I would give up to hang up my smartphone, man. I'm with the people I need to be with outside of my family, and I'll use my laptop to Zoom with them. So, yeah, I mean, nothing's coming to mind. I guess it would be my iPad.
That's it. Awesome. Ross Atkins, thank you so much for joining us this morning, man, and best of luck to you and the squad.
All right, Devo. Thanks for having me on. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Take care. And of course, we are taking your questions. Yeah, have you become more dependent on technology or smartphone? We are taking your feedback on this. Feedback at breakfast.